uniform like that gentleman's, playing Captain Kirk, and she remembers me tearing the house apart, building sets, in our living room, and playing Star Trek when I was 10. And she came down there, and she just had the time of her life. My mother has been very, very supportive. My dad took off when I was very young, so it was just me and Mom, and she did an awful lot to encourage and inspire me. I love her a little bit.
So we have someone asking for one word, pretty much.
Yeah, I know you said it was probably your most vocally challenging.
Oh no, don't ask me to say Cat
I
Garage.
just want to hear that one
Oh, I just want to hear you do it. That was okay. What's your name? Mikey, come up here.
Hey.
Give it up for Mikey! Mikey, I want to give you the full voice acting experience. Alright? I'm going to be the director, and you're the voice actor of Broly. Ready? So, you're going to hear 3 beeps, and right where the 4th beep should be, you give me your best Kakarot. You ready? Boop, boop, boop.
Kakarot!
Pretty good. Okay, so now, Mikey, it wasn't quite long enough. You gotta hold that end out a little bit longer for me, okay? Get a big breath, support it really good, and push it down in your voice lower. Like, instead of being where your normal voice is, push it down low. Down here, ready? Boop, boop, boop.
Kakarot!
It wasn't any longer. Let's get one more. This is my life. Yeah, ready? Now, here's the way you can conserve some air though. Start quieter, so you build to the end. So it's more of a... See what I'm saying? All right, big breath. Boop, boop, boop.
Kakarot!
Kind of trailed out at the end there though, did you hear it? Dude, I'm serious. You know what I love the most about the new Broly movie? He never says Kakarot! Never. I literally walked in and said, okay, how many times am I saying Kakarot? And they go, it's like, thank you, Lord, again. Another blessing. I love it. Give it up for Mikey. See how I got out of that too?
Okay, Vic.
Dude, you're the best. Mikey. Give another hand for Mikey.
So here in the back, Vic, we have somebody asking, well, we know you have great hair, but how do you...
Oh, this is a toupee. It's a good one, but it's glued on.
So, as somebody who enjoys doing voices often, you have a very wide range of voices. How do you manage that?
See, you know what, bro? What's your name?
Scott.
Scotty, you know what? I don't think I do. I don't. You know what? There are some people who can imitate hundreds of people, right? There are some people who have this voice that, like, they can do so many different voices. I have never considered myself one of them. Now, Scott, I play a wide variety of characters. But if you listen closely, close your eyes, don't think about the character's personality or how they're drawn differently, but listen to the voice. It's more a matter of attitude than it is changing your voice. I don't have a ton of, I don't think I'm very good at all, actually, at changing my voice that much. People always say, oh, I recognize your voice immediately, and I'm like, oh, great. Because I wish I could disguise it better. And conversely, I'm always really flattered when somebody says, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was you. I love when people say that. Like people would say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you played Crow in Ruby. Oh my gosh." Or, "Yeah, Crow, Uncle Crow. Give me a drink, kiddo." And they didn't know it was me. Or Ikaku and Bleach, or maybe Broly. Early Broly. Prehistoric Broly. But it's more attitude. And you know, there are a lot of actors who play lots of different characters, but their voice is always the same. You know what I mean? They sound like that's their voice, but they're playing a completely different role. So, while Crow may be, this is my normal voice, right? So it's gonna drop down lower, and get a little gruffly. And then you just get a little lazy with how you talk. You know, supposed to be drunk. I'm not drunk, but maybe I am. Right? It's really my voice, it's just more attitude. And then Tamaki from Oran, right? Oh, Nick, you're beautiful, commoner. There's something about you that thrills me, and I don't know what it is. Long live the poor. It's attitude. You see what I'm saying? It's more of that flamboyant, lyrical kind of quality to the way you talk. And articulate. Extra clear. A gentleman always articulates. You know, it's not, there's really no difference in my voice, it's just attitude, right? So I wish I had a wider range to be able to hide my voice better, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm very good at it. Yes?
Okay, so this gentleman has a question. Out of all the anime shows and movies you've been part of, if you had to pick a show or like a world to live in,
If I had to pick one show of all the ones I've done, it would have to be Full Metal. I mean,
I've heard that question from you.
even if I wasn't a part of Full Metal, it's still like one of the greatest anime ever. I was just lucky to be a part of it. And everybody in that show did so amazing. You know, it's very rare that an anime series just hits on all cylinders. You know what I mean? You watch a show and you'll think, well, the animation's really great, but the story's kind of lame. Or the story's really good, but the music's kind of crappy. Or this is a cool show, but the voice acting's not very good. Or, you know, any number of things that might make the show less than it could be. But with Full Metal, I mean, the first Full Metal especially, was so beautiful, so well crafted, so well written, well animated, music, everything about it was to me was perfect. Which is why I was terrified to hear that Brotherhood was coming. I was like, oh no, oh my gosh. How many of us have seen sequels that are really bad? Most of the time, right, Scott? Most of the time. Sequels are very rarely any good. Do you know why? Because the original story was one story. They told the story, it ended, ta-da, it's done. There's nowhere else to go with it, you know what I mean? It's like Jaws. How many ways can you tell a story about a shark eating people? Right? It's like, okay, that's really cool one time. You might be able to figure out something to make it interesting twice, but not 5 times. There's no story to mine, you know what I mean? There's nothing. Can I be honest with you? I hope nobody throws anything at me. This is my theory on Star Wars, too. It's my theory on why they're making new Star Wars, and they're exactly the same. And here's why. The original Star Wars was about a young kid, nobody, living in the desert, who grows up to not only defeat the Empire, but redeem his father's soul, right? Done. The end. Beautiful story. It's done. But no, we want to make more money. So let's make more. So what do? Let's change the guy to a girl. She's still living in the desert. She doesn't have her actual parents. Let's put another Death Star in there. Let's put another Darth Vader. We'll call him Kylo Ren in a mask. I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? And instead of having the first movie on what was the Tatooine, then the ice planet of Hoth, then the forest moon of Endor. Let's put them all in one movie. They were all over the place. And I'll tell you something. When the first Star Wars reboot came out, I mean, I was a big Star Trek, Star Wars, big Star Wars fan. When it came out, I was like, oh my gosh, they're just regurgitating the movies all over again. But I walked away going, you know what? They're trying to reach a new generation. I'm going to give them a pass. I'm going to let this first movie slide. But now, they better go somewhere new. The next one, they better go somewhere new. They didn't. The Empire is back chasing the rebels. It's the same story. And I remember thinking, everything that Luke and Leia and Han went through to beat the Empire and restore freedom to the galaxy, and it's as if nothing has changed. They're even flying the same ships and wearing the same uniforms. Whatever they call themselves, it's still the same. And what in the world am I even talking about? What was the question? Oh, the Brotherhood. So when I heard Brotherhood was coming out, I was like, oh no, oh my gosh. No, please don't ruin the original Full Metal. And when people started telling me that it was based on the manga, that was my first inclination that, ooh, it might be really good. Because fans were telling me all the time, I love Full Metal Alchemist, have you read the manga? And I would be like, no. They'd be like, oh, it's so great. So I always had heard that the manga was really good. So that was the first thing. And then, of course, when we ended up doing the show, it was wonderful. And it actually had an ending that was beautiful. And Brotherhood was a rare exception where most people even like Brotherhood better than the original. But that's the long answer to your question. Full Metal is the favorite thing I've ever done. And I was very, very honored to be a part of it.
In the front ask a really good question because we love you. We're so happy.
Well, I love you guys. I love you guys.
And everybody's been asking about your past and how have you worked with different stuff. So how do we support you in the future? And that was a really good question.
Wow. How do you support me? You know what? If you want to support me in the future, be positive. Be a voice for good. There's a lot of hate in the world. It's really sad, especially for those of us that are older and have been around a while to see it change. It's really sad to see so many people so fast to be offended by something. So on edge, just waiting for somebody to offend them, or just waiting to be outraged by something. So, the best thing that you and I and all of us can do, you can do, because obviously there are a lot of you, be a shining light in your world, no matter how big or small that world may be. You may be sitting there thinking, I'm quiet and I'm shy and I don't really talk much and I don't really have a lot of people in my circle. Yeah, but you have some. You may not have as many as that person or that person, but there are people in your life and you have the power to speak words of light and kindness and encouragement and inspiration into those people's lives. Or you also have the power to tear them down and to make them feel bad, or to hurt them, or to discourage them. Now, let's ask you the million-dollar question. What would you rather someone do in your life? Wouldn't you want them to be encouraging and supportive, helpful, kind? Then you be that for someone else. That's the best thing you can do, okay?
Awesome answer. Thank you so much. So we have another question from this gentleman.
And watch Star Trek Continues.
Hey Vic.
Hey there.
So about 10 years ago at a anime weekend in Atlanta.
No, it wasn't me. I did not do that.
I'm pretty sure it was.
That was a joke. Go ahead.
Two things. You actually talked about having a CD where you recorded you reading the book of Matthew.
John. Gospel of John.
Yeah, the Gospel of John while playing the piano. Do you have that anywhere available online?
Oh my goodness, I do. And I tell you what, what's your name?
Nick.
Nick, when we finish this panel, you come back to my autograph table because I have a couple of them with me.
Awesome.
I should have brought more and I didn't because I was in a hurry to pack, but it's online. So what he's talking about, you guys, is many, many years ago, 10 or 12 years ago probably, I wanted to give back to the fans. You have been so supportive and so kind to enjoy my work over the years, and I wanted to do something to give back. So I decided to do a recording of the entire Gospel of John. Because what's better for me to give to somebody than something that's important to me, right? So I found this really cool, dude, you look awesome. Sorry, Bucky, looking good. Sorry, a little ADD there. So I used this really contemporary translation called The Message, which is just wonderful. It's talking like we talk. It's conversational. A lot of people are put off by the Bible because it's all the flowery King James, right? And but this translation is much more down to earth, like you and I talk. So I used that translation, and then when I finished it, I decided to go back and play the piano underneath the whole thing because I wanted to make it more fun to listen to. And I started making copies of it and giving it away. But the answer to your question is it is online and available at my fan club, RisembleRangers.com. Any Rangers in here? Yay, Rangers! RISEMBOOL, Risembool, that's the little
Like
town
Full
that
Metal.
Edenal came from in Full Metal. RisembleRangers.com, right? And you can download it for free there. And it's just my gift to you. It took me a long time to record, as you can imagine, but it's there for free for anybody that would like to have it. Do you have a question? Any other questions?
But right now it's 1:50.
Oh my goodness, what time are we done here?
I want to say 1:52.
Okay, so we just have a couple of minutes, right?
Yeah, let's do one more question. Why don't you pick somebody?
Hey there.
Hey, boss.
I just had a quick question. In regard to characters you've played in the past, but didn't get to play very long, especially your anime characters, was there anyone in particular that you wish you could have explored more, like storylines or...
Well, I will tell you that if I had a lot of money, I would personally pay to have another season of Oron High School Host Club. Oh my goodness. Have you seen it? You need to watch it. Dude, you'll love it. Am I right? You know what? So many guys are like, I don't watch that girl stuff. Because, you know, the periwinkle jackets and flowers and all that. And they're like, some girl show. Oh, no. No. It's totally not. It's wonderful. Funny. It's literally about guys. It's a guy's show about these guys entertaining girls at their fancy high school. But the manga continues. And they go on to, Haruhi goes on to college, and Tamaki makes them all move with her because, you know, you can't break up the host club. And then Tamaki gets hit by a car. That did not happen, sorry. That's a fake spoiler. That's my idea of fake news right there. So, I would love to see another season of that. In fact, I would love to see some people come together and just do what was necessary to raise the money or to get another season made of that show. Because the manga's there. I mean, the story's there. It's just waiting to be told. Any other? Take one more question? We'll take one more?
Yeah, one more.
While he's setting up for that, I'll be back at the table right after this, and I hope you'll come by and say hello. I've gotten to meet a lot of you so far, but not nearly enough of you. I came here just to visit you, and it is such an honor. You have no idea what an incredible pleasure and honor it is, and how humbled I am that you guys came to see me. Yes, question?
Awesome. So last question, and while working with the Rooster Teeth and Monty Ohm and that production team that created Ruby, did they ever give you a general idea of the character voice, or did you just
No,
scratch?
they did not. Actually, they contacted me and asked me if I wanted to play a character, and I said sure. And they said, well, it's Ruby's Uncle Crow, and here are some drawings of what he looks like. And they sent me some drawings. And so I sent them back 2 or 3 different variations for the voice. And then they chose the one they wanted, and off we went. I'm really glad they chose the one they did too, because he's been a lot of fun. And you know what's funny is I don't get drunk. I just don't. So it's fun to play a drunk. And I think the key to playing a drunk guy is to do your best to not be drunk. You know what I mean? I mean, like if you've been drinking and you don't want your mom or your brother or somebody to know you've been drinking, you try to really focus hard, right? And you try to articulate really clearly. And you know you're drunk, but I sound fine. That's why I love Crow so much, because he was so much fun to play. And people would say, "Oh my gosh, you sound so drunk when you were playing him." I'm not drunk at all. I'm just having fun. And I just love him to death. And don't ask me if he's Ruby's dad, because I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you even if I did, because my life would be short. You guys, thank you for coming. God bless you guys so
One more
much.
round of applause.
I look forward to seeing you over there at the table. Thanks, Brett. Thanks so much for